dawn in the drowsy village of Ensenada, Mexico, 80 miles south of San Diego. Throughout the year, it is awakened by fishermen before dawn and tucked in well after dark by late-night visitors from the States. Once a year, the town roars to life. Hundreds of racers with the same goal have come here to take the green flag and begin the fun and frustration of the Baja 1000. Let's begin with the bikes, and here is Kelly Stavist.
Some of the biggest names from Baja have come from the motorcycle classes. Well, after earning 9 consecutive titles, Johnny Campbell got the name King of Baja. That string was broken in 2006, but now he's back as part of Honda's super team. He'll be riding with teammates Robbie Bell, Steve Hengeveld, and Kendall Norman as they try to get Johnny his 10th title.
Time, the only real competition in the Baja 1000. At 6:30 a.m., the crowd has already gathered along the starting line. Here, the curious can mingle with the courageous. The fishermen are already out to sea and the late-night partiers sound asleep. But now, with a chill in the morning air, the excitement begins to rumble through the streets of downtown. It all starts with the motorcycles, and one by one, man and machine begin a race against the odds and the oddities of Baja. More than 1,000 miles lie between the beginning and the end. These are just some of the stories you will find in the middle. Baja, the only race where there are no losers, just those that did not win. Over 40 years, it has earned the reputation as the most challenging path in racing. Here, the dusty road to nowhere leads a racer on a scenic route of insecurity. A daring drive through the bone-dry Mexican desert that leaves you thirsting for the finish. This is Baja, more than 1,000 miles of desire and desperation. It is 20-plus non-stop hours of yell on wheels, and that's if you're lucky. And if you're not, in this race, winning is something, but simply finishing is everything. For 40 years, some of the biggest names from racing's boldest venues have come here to face the torture and the terrain of the Mexican desert, just so they can say they answered the challenge of Baja. Anniversary of the Baja 1000, presented by Volkswagen. Challenge to a racer's most delicate quality, his ego. Nowhere else are the course and the competition so one-sided. Here it's more about the need than the speed. The adventure is officially underway. Robbie Bell already many miles from Ensenada, with Cabo San Lucas more than 1,200 miles away. So far to travel and so many obstacles to overcome. Hi everyone, I'm Bill Weber. Drivers from more than 40 states and 7 foreign countries have come here to Ensenada to begin their precarious journey in the 40th running of the Baja 1000. This year's course is actually 1,296.39 miles. More than 430 vehicles are entered in various classes, but for nearly half of those, the race will end long before the finish line in Cabo San Lucas. Still, for all that try, the gauntlet is perhaps the most grueling in all of motorsports. Weather, darkness, fatigue, frustration. Some drivers will simply get lost. And the toughest opponent is the terrain. The course changes not by the day or by the hour, but by the minute. It's a course occasionally booby-trapped by some mischievous locals hoping to add their own brand of excitement to Baja. Still, the best in the world are back. And now, with another one of the hundreds of stories in the 40th running of the Baja 1000, here's Marty Snyder.
Bill, one of those great stories is Robbie Gordon, a 3-time Baja 1000 winner, back for his 20th Baja 1000 this year. As you can tell, he's one of the most popular guys here in Baja as well. I talked to Robbie moments ago. He told me the challenge is what brings him back, the challenge of the 1,300-mile course. And plus, this is grassroots racing. As we said, his 20th Baja 1000, trying to win it for the 4th time.
After leaving the downtown portion of the course, the competitor can finally get the true feel of Baja. This is Robbie Bell from Team Honda on his way to Ojos Negros. Many have made practice runs along certain stretches of the course, but there's no way to imitate the rush a rider gets once he's taken the green flag and feels the dirt and the desire of Baja while on the clock under real race conditions. Just ask Quinn Cody from the KTM team. Now another countdown is about to begin, this time for the many classes of trucks that will try to tame Baja. The first truck out is Guerin Caliente. From the very beginning, the driver and his navigator must negotiate the maze of turns and jumps that take them on a path out of Ensenada and into the desert. Here's the number 3 Riviera truck with an all-star roster of drivers: Mark Post, Rob McCachran, and Carl Rennesenter. In fact, this year the fans know the field is loaded with big names from throughout the racing world. Many have achieved tremendous success in motorsports, but they all know that Baja is a completely different world. Off-road racing veteran Robbie Gordon knows how to give the fans an added thrill right from the start. The course begins along a human corridor of cheering fans, and you can't get much closer to the action than the fans at Baja do. Veteran driver Cameron Steele doing double duty at Baja. This day started on a motorcycle, and now he's about to take off in a pink truck.
Didn't ride as far as I wanted to. I passed it off early, and now I'm back to my baby doll, Rosita.
That color pays tribute to his mother. She passed away 10 years ago from cancer. Robbie Gordon and the other stars on their way, and the fans already wondering how many will they find at the finish line.
This is my very first Baja 1000. I mean, as you can see by the sights, it's totally insane. I'm pumped up about it, but I'm also nervous. Not ever doing this before. I can't believe how many people come here, and I'm excited and nervous all at the same time.
That's my NBC booth partner, Wally Dallenbach, off the mic and up on the wheel. And that is the same feeling many veteran racers experience at Baja. Here it is you against the course and the clock. But when it comes to motorcycles, there is a huge rivalry between Honda and KTM. The course is carved out through the desert. 22-year-old Robbie Bell making his own path. Bell joining the lead Honda team in 2007. He competed in his first race at the age of 5 and has finished second overall the last 2 years at Baja. Quinn Cody is doing the early work for KTM. Now, all these riders know how valuable victory is to the manufacturer. Each carries a pack on his back, but the weight of a strong start is squarely on his shoulders because Baja bragging rights are right now on the line for everyone involved.
I feel pretty confident that we can go out there and beat the Honda team. Honda's been down here, they've been doing it for the last 12, 13 years. Now it's pretty much just going to be Honda versus KTM, it seems like.
It's more important to just get the bike to the next rider intact and give him a perfect bike. And I've really focused on that for this race. You know, not worrying about the competition, not racing anybody else, just racing Baja.
Robbie Bell and Honda against KTM and the terrain of Baja. The truck's on course. This is the Red Bull ride of Andy McMillan. And the helicopter shot gives us a good look at how narrow the course can be and how rugged it truly is. As a driver, you're never sure how deep is the next rut or exactly what is around the next turn. Here's Tim Herbst. That's a terrible Herbst truck. In this race, experience is a plus because one key to blazing your way through Baja is knowing that the unknown is a certainty.
This truly is an adventure. I mean, we're doing something that pioneers did 70, 80, 100 years ago. And people say, well, what is off-road racing? Well, off-road racing started when the first pioneers got in a covered wagon and came from the East Coast to the West Coast. They had no clue what they were doing, but they did it, and they survived.
And Baja is all about surviving. If being fearless can help you win at Baja, then this team should have had high hopes. That's the truck of Alan Fearless Pfluger. Unfortunately, they have trouble early in the event after running in the second position. Etched into the memory of every winner at Baja is the crushing disappointment of losing. Out here, help is much more than just a cell phone call away. Friends and even teammates know the price you pay for stopping. You saw Robbie Gordon, a teammate of Pfluger, go by with little more than just a wave. Headaches and heartbreaks are as much a part of the history here as champagne and celebration. The desert can destroy your equipment and shatter your self-confidence. Sometimes you can fix your truck, but the hardest part might be restoring your conviction. There's the truck of B.J. Baldwin. So far, so good. In racing, it's usually the driver that has established a reputation for his style and success. Here it is the race that has a reputation. A nasty personality that seemingly wants no one to win. Baldwin's co-driver is Danny Anderson, who will be behind the wheel later in the event. Racing is a mix of energy and excitement, and that's not just for the competitors, but also for the fans. A Baja tradition seems to be how close one can get to the course. Even in the desert, race fans want a close-up view. But Baja can also leave a racer with a feeling of loneliness, too. Often, you never see the competition. You're simply chasing a trail of dust that takes you to the middle of nowhere and beyond. Baja veteran Robbie Gordon weaving his way across the desert. Gordon is the defending champion of the Baja 1000 and a three-time overall winner. This year, he's chasing his fourth Baja win, and Robbie's pre-race plan was to drive the first 400 miles, then get back behind the wheel for the last 200. He's a former member of the Red Bull team. A year ago, he teamed with Andy McMillan for the win, and that's Andy in the Red Bull truck in pursuit of Gordon. Only a fortunate few will escape the devilish demands of the desert. Victory at Baja is not measured by where you finished. It is measured by did you finish. And this year, for nearly 200 competitors, the answer will simply be no. The 40th running of the Baja 1000 has begun. And for some, the question is, how quickly will it end?
But fortunately, when you get older, you don't have to impress the chicks anymore. So, I don't have to drive the whole race anymore. It was never a question, am I going to do the Baja 1000? Some way I found to come down here and do it. There's nothing like the Baja 1000.
The fans all know Rod Hall, and many of them have been here for hours watching and waiting for Hall and his Hummer to lumber through the wash area and put Ensenada in his rear view mirror. Back to the bikes, and the rivalry roars on. Robbie Bell on his Honda. He's being chased by the talented team from KTM. You're never quite certain where the leader is, or are you the new leader? You race as hard as you can, as smart as you can. Few landmarks, no convenience stores, just the thundering sound of your beating heart and the purr of a racing engine. These riders began in the early morning hours in Ensenada, and they are now approaching the 200-mile mark. Just about 1,100 miles to go. In third place is another Honda team, led by Tim Morton. Now, we've talked about the challenge the terrain brings, but riders also have to be alert for non-race vehicles they will find on the course. Some are chase vehicles. Others are simply on their way to town on what passes for a road in the desert. That's Baja. Over 1,300 miles, these guys will see it all. All the riders for the lead Honda team are happy to welcome Robbie Bell. He came aboard thanks to the invitation of superstar Johnny Campbell.
It was pretty cool because, you know, I'd kind of looked up to him and knew the whole history of, you know, Baja and stuff from my dad and everything, and knew what he'd accomplished down here. And so for him to see some potential in me down here, it was definitely very gratifying.
Trying to complete the 1,300 miles in this year's Baja 1000 is a grueling task for any team, but a handful have tried to make the challenge even more difficult. They want to go it alone, all 1,296 miles. One of them is Travis Pastrana of Team Red Bull. The odds in the course are both against him. The sky now bright blue and the temperature climbing. The KTM team still in pursuit. Their inspiration comes from Chris Blaze, a teammate seriously injured while competing earlier this year.
In the Vegas-Reno pre-run, Chris Blaze crashed and he broke his back. You know, he's the head of this operation. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if we'd even be down here. You know, Chris is a really strong rider, but now that he doesn't ride, I mean, he's even a stronger person. We haven't really told him anything we're riding for him, but basically he knows. He kind of knows we're kind of doing it for him.
All the members of KTM, alone with their thoughts, but all the while sharing the seat with teammate Chris Blaze. Some of the trucks now passing through Ojos Negros. Caliente in the 38. Through the narrow path, now up the hill. The challenge never ends. Robbie Gordon in the 71. Remember, he's the defending champion. Robbie likes to race a lot of things, and he loves to win at Baja. But there is trouble ahead for Gordon. Later in the race, he will be forced to drive a portion of the night with nothing to light the way except a handheld portable lamp. There's a battle for position shaping up between the silver 33 Toyota Tundra of Chad Ragland and the red number 19 of Tim Herbst. The Herbst family has had a lot of good luck in the Baja 1000. Troy Herbst has won the Class 1 title the last 3 years. Right now, it's Tim on the move in the trophy truck division. Wally Dalleback has won road racing championships and competed in many forms of motorsports. But this is his first time competing at Baja.
You're going down these roads and you're flying at 80 miles per hour, and there are people lined up alongside of the road. And at first, I was kind of being careful. It's like, man, yeah, I don't want to hit anybody. But then after a while, you get used to it, and you're sitting there going, man, I hope these guys get out of the way because I can't lift.
Many of the stories of success and failure at Baja would make Hollywood jealous. Actor Patrick Dempsey is back to see for himself.
It's a very special event. It's unlike anything you've ever done before, and I think that and the excitement of it, and I think my first words of wisdom was expect the unexpected, and I think that's probably in essence what it's all about.
This is the third consecutive year competing in the Baja 1000 for Patrick, and he's become enchanted with the experience. One man that keeps coming back is Larry Rossler in the number 100 truck. He's competing in Class 1. Stories of success and failure are endless at Baja. No one knows more about the dangers in the desert than Rossler.
Maybe a lot of guys don't want to admit to it. We know it's dangerous, you know, and I would never say that, oh no, it's not dangerous. I mean, come on. Weird things happen out there. You got to be heads up, not to mention the speeds that we're going of just a plane crash on your own.
Larry should know all about Baja. He has 15 class wins in this event. Here comes the Volkswagen of Jerry Hill. This is a story of two veterans, the driver and the car. Hill has a long history here, but Volkswagen is a vehicle that knows a little bit about Baja as well. Trophy trucks are the undisputed kings of Baja, but the sentimental favorite, as well as the overall winningest car in Baja, are the VW Bugs. Driven by privateers with little financial support, the VW class has got a huge boost this year when Volkswagen offered $40,000 in contingency awards to the gladiators who conquer Baja in a bug.
I think, you know, the trophy trucks are about the most amazing vehicles out there. They're so technically sophisticated. In our case, it's nearly 40-year-old technology. You know, we've got GPS units, we've got satellite phones and that, but really, it's 40 years old, and it could still make 1,300 miles.